Hello, everyone, and welcome to Holly's World. As you can see, the background has changed. We are moving to a different studio in the house. So, we hope you like it. Tell us if you do or not. What do you think of the color blue? Anyway, Holly's World is a show about the news of the day of the week, what I find interesting and newsworthy. So we're going to start off with a story right away of something that I talked about earlier with some family. A speed skater for the U.S. Olympics, past U.S. Olympics, has been denied his visa. Now, he's not competing in this year's Olympics. He competed 4 years ago and won gold medal. Well, since then, he has formed a group to support the suffering in Darfur. So China has decided to revoke his visa. They gave it to him, but then they took it away from him 4 days before the game started. So, needless to say, he was a little upset. He just wanted to go to a few charity things that were going on over there and to watch the games themselves. So, poor Joey Cheek will not be watching the games live. Now, another Olympic story, since it's Olympic time, and I believe they start tomorrow night. A ticketing scam has been going on, apparently for quite a few months. BeijingTicketing.com has been trying to sell you Olympic tickets, but there's no tickets. People have been spending thousands of dollars on tickets, and they haven't gotten anything. Now, one travel agent actually told a customer that had called him wondering about BeijingTicketing.com that the site was 100% legitimate. I don't know who that travel agent was, but I'm sure she should be in trouble. Maybe she's in on the scam. I don't know. Maybe she's getting money. Hey. Now, the International Olympic Committee knew about this site since early March and hasn't done anything about it. There's one lawyer, I believe in Texas, who has started his own site, BeijingTicketingScam.com, to offer help to those who have been scammed. He's not giving out tickets to those, but he's trying to get enough signers, I believe, to ask the Olympic Committee to give them tickets. Since they already paid for them, they just didn't pay the right person. I think they're out of luck. Now, the next wonderful story is about some cyclists that are to be competing in these games. They came at the airport into Beijing, and about 4 of them were wearing face masks. Now, if you see the video, it looks a little funny. They look kind of silly. But they're coming out of the airport, and the reason they said that was the air quality in Beijing is bad. Now, I've read countless stories on that, the air quality in Beijing, and how China has been trying to make it better for the games, and apparently not really done much. So they apologized, saying that they didn't realize that they were being harmful to Beijing or blah, 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 blah. Well, the Olympic Committee CEO didn't ask them to apologize. He says that they didn't need to. They shouldn't have had to. But, maybe they didn't want their visas revoked at the last minute. So we'll have to see if they win anything, who knows. Now, for those of you interested in gymnastics, which I am not, you know that the perfect score is a 10. Let's see, Nadia Comaneci, I believe, had the 7 perfect 10s, and how exciting is that? I don't watch Olympic or gymnastics, so I'm not quite sure, what she actually got. Now, the new scoring system is going to go up to 17, and Mary Lou Retton, who, is a very famous gymnast, is really not a fan at all. She says that she hates the new scoring system and that gymnastics was based on the 10. So she's really not happy about that. And they only changed it because of such issues at the Athens Olympics, where there was a whole bunch of problems with the scoring. So no more 10 in gymnastics. It will be up to 17. Now, staying right along with the gymnastics, there is a gymnast that has taken himself out of the games. Morgan Ham, he withdrew just yesterday, I believe, or today, because of bone spurs in his leg. Well, he thought he could make it. He got there to Beijing, but then he pulled himself out because he didn't feel it was, nice to the USA to compete when he knew he was injured. So this year, him and his twin brother, they both were on the gymnastics team. They made it. Well, Morgan Ham's brother, Peter, withdrew in early July because of a broken hand and a rotator cuff problem. I don't know if they'll be making it next Olympics, but we'll see. Something totally different. For those of you who have GPS out there, be careful. Be very careful, unless you have the iPhone. A group of people decided to go on a vacation. Most people decide to go on vacations. Well, a group of about 26 people, I believe it was 16 adults and 10 kids, decided to go on a vacation together. They rented vehicles or they used their own vehicles, and they all had the same GPS. Now, they wanted to go very far out into the country, backwoods, and their GPS took them on some back roads, and, they were enjoying the view and everything, I'm sure, until they started going through this really steep road, so steep that they got stuck and couldn't move. One of the vehicles got stuck in a sand road that the GPS didn't tell it was sand, and when they got up on this cliff, they were stranded, so they had to wait for help for a couple of days. They had to sleep in their cars, and the kids were all crying, and one of the kids actually had a fever, and they said they didn't want to do that again. So if you have GPS, be careful. Go to MapQuest, because that site rocks. Even though certain people don't like it, I like it. So the last story of the day is Joel Osteen wife goes ballistic. Now, those of you who don't know who Joel Osteen is, he is the preacher in Texas who has the mega church. He's on TV, obviously, got his own show there. Well, back in 2005, apparently, Victoria Osteen went on a flight with her family, and I guess they were flying first class. Well, something spilled on Mrs. Osteen's seat about the size of a 50-cent piece. Very small, nothing too big. Well, she went crazy, told the flight attendants they needed to clean it up because she was a first-class passenger, and she wasn't being treated like it. Eventually, it got to shoving, and Mrs. Osteen pushed the flight attendants out of the way and tried to get into the cockpit to talk about it. She was asked to leave, and she says that she and her family decided to leave voluntarily while she's in court because the flight attendants are suing her over being pushed. Well, Mrs. Osteen says her lawyer says that this is just a ploy for money, since the flight attendant, one of them, is seeking 10% of her net worth. Sounds like it's just about money to me. Now, this was kind of a slow or quick show, but that is the news worth covering to me. And this has been Holly's World. Thank you.